Hi there, welcome to the Gardens and Graveyard channel. My name is Charisma and today we're meeting in the backyard and we're going to cut chocolate flowers to dry. So in the raised bed behind me, I grew all flowers that I could cut and dry to use in flower arrangements in the future. And today I want to cut back my chocolate flowers, so I'm going to show you what they look like when I know it's time to harvest them to dry, and how I'm going to hang them up and dry them. And I'll get to show you our new dry flower rack that Spencer built me just for my dried flowers and hung it up in our dining room. So this is the raised bed filled with beautiful flowers to cut and dry. We have quite a few straw flowers that I missed. Once the center is open like this, you don't want to dry it. They don't dry well like that. But I will go ahead and harvest this one. And I think there might be a couple of pink ones on the other side I can harvest. You want to wait till they're a little bit more open than this one, but like this one is perfect. So I'll cut this one and maybe that one. But our focus today is the chocolate flowers, and you can see these flat umbel-like flowers that are a cousin of Queen Anne's lace. They're also in the carrot family, and you can see they come out this white color and then they turn this beautiful burgundy bronzy color. I've also got a few, these are about like getting ready to go to seed, and they start losing the bronze. You can see kind of the pink on it, and they start getting a little more fluffy. You can harvest them at all the different stages. You can harvest them at this stage before they even come out, and then you have this like interesting texture. They don't hold as well with this. I'm gonna show you, it's kind of strange and super fun in my opinion. These chocolate flowers are a huge hit with pollinators, while I will see a bumble kind of like hovering over them every once in a while. Mostly I'll see hoverflies and then whatever these guys are. And watch how many there are. Oh, yesterday I did that and like 20 flew off of it. Let's see if it can focus on that little guy. I really just don't know what they are, but they're clearly a pollinator. There's another one over on this one. They do fly. Anyhow, they really like these. But there is a little hoverfly there. Anyhow, we're gonna cut these back, and they may flush out again, I'm hoping. Of course, we'll leave some to harvest later. And then I have some over there that I need to harvest as well. Alright, so I cut back most of that chocolate flower because it was in the shade. It was growing. This is where the base was, and it was growing like this. Just twisting every which direction, trying to find some sunlight. So I just cut it back. And then I'm just gonna cut it. There's they're not colored up and burgundy like I would like them to be, but chances are they won't color up because they're in so much shade. They do have a little red dot in the center, which makes them kind of interesting. This is the chocolate lace flower, which does look very much like Queen Anne's lace, which is why I have them in containers so I don't try to get rid of them, thinking that they're the invasive Queen Anne's lace. We do have Queen Anne's lace here on the coast. We also have hogweed, which looks like a giant version of Queen Anne's lace. It's very poisonous. So I needed to make sure that I planted these in spaces where I knew exactly what they were, because when they're not colored up, they just look like Queen Anne's lace. These were seeds that I grew from Floret, and I've never grown them before. They're kind of a wild, messy looking flower. See how they hold up as a dried flower. I'm letting some of them go to seed to see what their seed heads look like, to see if I want to dry their seed heads. Some flowers, when they get to a certain point and they're really fluffy, they'll just fall apart when they're dry. It's all a learning experiment until you have done it at least once. This one has a little bit more blush on it. I am excited to see what they do, because they'll create a really unique and fun texture in a dried flower arrangement if they dry nicely. I am taking off all the leaves because they'll just shrivel up and make a mess anyway. Ooh, that's a nice big one. Nice and dark. It's kind of like the perfect one. Queen Anne's lace is sometimes called bishop's flower, and the spiritual property of Queen Anne's lace, and therefore this chocolate lace flower, is sanctuary and refuge, safety, because they apparently grew in Bishop's Gardens. I'm not sure what other properties they have. If you know more about them, I'd love to hear in the comments. If you've grown the chocolate flower versus the Queen Anne's lace to dry, I'd love to hear about that. How long they held up, if the color holds. I know Floret recommends it as a cut flower, and I completely trust her judgment. Like I said, some of these are being cut at a little bit more of an immature stage, but it's better than just letting them be a complete disaster and not bring me joy. I kept looking at this area and thinking, ugh, I can't with that. Right. So that's a pretty nice harvest. I'm going to divide them up because we don't want them to be so close together and not have airflow. So I think what I'll do is divide them by their stage of growth, their color, and maybe if they have like really twisty vines or twisty stems opposed to straight stems. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bundles. And then these crazy things. I just ran out of string. So this one is all the weird curved stems that can create fun architecture in flower arrangements. This one is slightly immature, but they have good structure and some color. This one is very immature, mostly green, not fully open yet. These ones are just little tinies, and they're pretty weak. I don't know if they'll dry and hold. These ones are pretty nice, possibly a little over mature for gathering for dried flowers. We'll see how they do. I kind of put them in a layer so that they have plenty of airflow. These ones are pretty nice as well, again layered, so they have airflow. They've got a little bit of blush on them. These ones have the most color. And then this one is like the perfect one. So I'm just like keeping it all by itself with a really long stem. All right, let's go ahead and take them in the house and hang them up. Okay, so here we are in the dining room, and my kitchen's over that direction. There's this cupboard, and we hung this piece of lattice up with chains and a frame to make sure that it's nice and strong. And then we've just been hanging up our dried flowers. So we are going to continue on with that with our chocolate flower. So we just kind of like snake it up in there. This is not where it's gonna go. And then I just tie it. That's why I leave these long tails on both sides, and then I just tie them around this and tie them. And then I have to go through and just kind of pull the tails every once in a while as the stems dry. There they are. It's gonna be so much fun when this is all full of flowers. So most of them are hanging upside down, as you can see. And I decided that this one has such a nice flat umbel that I just slipped it through there and let the flowers settle there to see if it'll dry better or not that way. I have some straw flowers out in the greenhouse and some amaranth that I can add now that they're dry. It's been really fun to create this space so that I have a good place that's dry with great airflow, out of the sun. There is a window right here, but this has a big overhang over our porch, so it doesn't get any direct sun. and the heater vent is across this room, so it stays nice and dry, but it doesn't get like direct heat. What else? Like all the spacing is really great because I'm just using the lattice as a guide, and I'll be able to keep these over winter without worrying about them getting moldy or dusty or all of those things. I mean, other than regular house dust, which is nothing compared to like in the garage or like outside in a shed or something like that. So I'm really happy with it. It's working out fantastic. And I can't wait to keep adding more color and more beautiful things to it. And I will, of course, show you as we go along. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you're having a wonderful summer and you're celebrating your life, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.